The only thing I can say about Julius Malema is I hope South Africa will give him a chance while he's still young, because in his older age, it won't be the same Julius Malema. Now, Julius Malema continues to campaign for the EFF, going for interviews. This time around, he was at Sowetan Live and had a fantastic interview. So I just wanted to point out some critical points that he raised and speak about it from a pan-Africanist point of view. Welcome.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy. Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, King053, Mr. Easy Imali Enengi, and we're back at it again with another one. This time around, we go to Sowetan Live, where Julius Malema had another fantastic interview. I love covering Julius Malema's interviews because it serves as a reminder of who we are as Africans, and also gives us a peek on inside the mind of Julius Malema. How he thinks and how he approaches things is very important. And I believe that every political party should be doing this. They should be attending podcasts like mine and going to radio interviews, going everywhere so that they can be in the faces of the South African public that whom they seek votes from. So it goes without saying that every time Julius Malema goes out, and other leaders that I will cover those interviews. So let's get straight into it. I hope you like the new setup. We have moved into the garage. We are trying to improve and get better. So officially, I'm out of the house. I don't think you guys will see me in the house anytime soon, unless if my family is not here. So this is just a little setup that my queen organized for me. So I hope you guys enjoy the view. There's been a lot of talk on Moses Mabhida, EFF versus the ANC. Which one was more impressive? Julius Malema covers that in this interview. Let's listen.
They had 300 more people at Moses Mabhida, I'm told, than the EFF. Are you worried that they still a force to be reckoned with?
No. We filled up Moses Mabhida with KZN people alone. We filled up FNB with the whole of South Africa. Yeah. Why? You can only take the country to a bigger venue. You can't take the country to a small venue. So we take KZN alone. They bring the whole of South Africa, and you still say it's a competition. It is not. We've won the race. They are still to go to FNB as we speak now. And whereas with the whole South Africa, right, they still don't go to the overflow. Paid for.
No, there was an overflow in the beach. I saw people swimming in the beaches.
Yeah. Then the overflow goes to the beach. That's what happens when you take people from Bembe, all the way from Venda to go to Moses Mabhida. You have a young man called Malema with his collective of young women and men calling a rally in a Moses Mabhida. Fill it up. The same way as you, who have a state president, a deputy state president, who has all the premiers, who has 30 ministers and whatever number of deputy ministers and all number of mayors, MECs. And then you've got state resources. That's why you can land with the police chopper inside the stadium. That's how much resource you have. And then you are still beaten by these people without having all of this. And
now, if it was not clear before, it is clear right now. A place or a seat in parliament is being bought with money. And Julius Malema tried to illustrate to us what exactly is happening in parliament. the ANC is a well-oiled campaigning machine. And they can bring people from Egypt to South Africa if they wanted to, because they are well-resourced when it comes to the finances of the party. And also remember, like Julius Malema said, they scored how many ministers, how many deputy ministers, how many MECs, how many HODs, how many, how many MMs, how many mayors of the ANC coming from all around South Africa to come to Moses Mabhida. Most of you have continuously reminded me, King, leave what the ANC has done. The EFF has filled the stadium with only KwaZulu-Natal people. As impressive that is, we have to consider that election time, electioneering, it's about how good you can move people from one spot to another spot. I said on election day, they will do the same. Transport will be available, t-shirts will be available, and food will be available, everything that you need, and even an after party after rally in FNB Stadium. So they will make sure that they take the people from one point to another. Yes, of course, filling up a stadium in KwaZulu-Natal with predominantly only KwaZulu-Natal people. I would say about 90% was KwaZulu-Natal people, because there is people that came from other provinces, of course, like the provincial chairpersons of each province obviously went there to go and support the EFF. So for me, yes, I do agree that the EFF showing at Moses Mabhida was better than the ANC. But the ANC also showed us that they can do logistics. They can do logistics, even though they don't execute it. The ANC is good with getting people to the stadium, but getting people back home becomes an issue. People are found 2-3 days later still in Durban. You saw it in the January 8th statement, where people were still in Mpumalanga, sitting there looking for transport to go home, people passing away with accident. This time around, you saw the same thing that happened. So for me, for me, I wish they can just do a better job of getting the people back at home. Julius Malema also addresses the issue about sex workers, gardeners, pension, security, and all of that. Let's listen to what he said.
But I'm sure you should nationalize strip clubs and brothels. All men should be equal before a strip dancer.
Well, we will not. We'll make sure we legalize sex work so that it's properly regulated, and the sex workers are protected against potential harassment by police and customers. So it is a profession that has been there for quite some time. Whether I like it or not, I can't do away with it. All I can do is to create a conducive environment for it. And people out of poverty, some out of their own voluntary thing, decide this is the kind of career I want to pursue. The ANC used its majority to reject it. We're talking gardeners, we're talking cleaners, we're talking security guards, we're talking maintenance guys. So people who are exploited. Your father comes to Johannesburg to be a security guard for 30 years to 50 years. When he comes back, he has nothing. And in
Absolutely
most cases, nothing. In Limpopo, we no, and all of that.
No
it's
pension,
not true.
nothing.
That's it. Because though he was working at Johannesburg municipality building for all those years, security companies kept on changing, but they kept the men. The condition is that when you come in with a new security company, you're going to absorb these workers.
Yes.
They move from one security
But they don't
company
belong
to
to the
other.
city.
They don't belong to the city.
This private company.
The private companies, they keep on changing on them. That's why there's no pension fund. There's no medical aid. There are no paid leaves. We did that in Johannesburg.
Well, you demonstrated in Joburg. Actually.
And even
I remember
advanced.
that you even showed that then, for example,
Yes.
the security company would be paid 8,000 rand for SIPO.
Yes.
But he only gets 2.
Yes. And when we removed, it's not even paid, when we remove the security guards from the private company, we moved from 7.5 to 13 million, 13,000, 7.5 to 13,000. And then he's got medical aid. Then he's got pension.
Without
fund.
increasing the cost on the cities.
No, this is our budget. This is what is available now.
Wow.
Now, when it comes to issues of things like sex work, legalizing sex work, and trying to create a safe environment for sex workers to operate in, that is why I said sometimes when you are driven by your religious beliefs, there's other things that you're not going to accept. You understand that it's a tricky situation. Some people will say, no, man. Besides sex workers being in danger when they are practicing their trade, families are getting destroyed. A bad example is being placed on women and whatever. That's why, as politicians, they need to sit down and say, can we stop this thing? If we make it illegal, will it stop sex working from happening? It's not going to stop it. So I kind of agree with him on this particular topic to say, even though it is not something that we would support ourselves, but there are men and women that are in this industry and they need to be in a safe space. When it comes to security companies and cleaners at domestic workers and cleaners in companies and all of these places, I say let it be compulsory that there must be a deduction from the employer for medical aid and pension fund. There shouldn't be any work where you are employed for more than 6 months and there is no pension and medical aid. It is with you need that pride of having medical aid. Even if it's just a 150 they deduct every month to go and see a GP or whatever, it's better than nothing. I remember when I had no medical aid, my wife had an issue with kidney stones, and in the Northern Cape at our hospital, Kimberley Hospital, there wasn't any machines to remove kidney stones. Now there's a full ward of kidney stones patients coming from around Northern Cape suffering. If you know what kidney stones are, you know that those people can't walk, can't sit, can't sleep, can't do whatever. And you get to a point where, as a man, you question yourself, why can't you afford private medical aid? Luckily, I got employed in government and I have medical aid at least now. So we're sorting that out with my queen. So I think that it should be made compulsory that if you are working anywhere, whether you are getting paid 6,500, 12,000, 11,000, 20,000, whatever, let there be truck drivers, let there be a medical aid fee deducted from your pay and from your pay and the company, and also let there be a pension money deducted there also. So even if you quit after 5 years, 15 years, get something out of that job. You can't be working in Johannesburg or wherever in South Africa, working for years and years. When you come back, you've got nothing to show for it. It is a huge embarrassment. Now, when we speak about socialism, Julius Malema puts it nicely for me, but I'll try to elaborate even further. Let's hear what he says about being flashy as a politician, staying in nice houses, driving beautiful cars, smoking cigars.
Yeah.
That's one of the ANC, you like nice things.
Yeah. Well, that is his own opinion. He says we stay in houses with swimming pools.
Yes.
Who said Fidel Castro didn't have a swimming pool? He doesn't know where Fidel Castro stayed.
Yeah.
All of them don't know where Fidel stayed. Where is this culture of Fidel? What is socialism about cigars? Fidel smokes cigars. Why am I forgetting his name? The former president of Venezuela, who passed on.
Hugo Chavez.
Chavez.
Yeah.
Chavez was a smart dresser. Yeah. Chavez we can't say Chavez.
By the way, this is an audio podcast, so he actually has Nazi dresser today, guys. You must see him today. Like, yeah.
So then Chavez is a socialist who gets celebrated by Moeletsi and all of them, and Fidel and all of them, and president of China now.
Yeah.
What is the looks have to do with your commitment to a certain political ideology? You can't say the president of China is not committed to socialism because of how he dresses. Yeah. The president of China doesn't dress like some professor at Vez. You know how those professors dress. They wear even the chinos and some brown shoes. You know, and then you look at that professor who teaches economics dressed like that. Who's a market fundamentalist? He's dressed like that. And you say by the looks, he looks like he supports socialism. No, he can't define. So we are saying to you, when we take over, we'll implement socialist policies. And whether Moeletsi believes it or not, he will see when we take over, because we've never made a commitment which we have never followed through.
One thing I will tell you, my African brothers and sisters, without any shadow of a doubt, we Africans in our skin, in our strong melanin, we get treated the way we look. Unfortunately, that is how it is right now. Black people get treated the way they look. That's why it is easy for a pastor with a suit, with a nice car, to come and rob you because of the looks. It's easier for a forex trader, a fake forex trader, to rob you of your money because of how they look. Black people are respected and honored and feared because of how they look. Try to dress like a white person with shorts and a short t-shirt and whatever, and go to Home Affairs for a service, or go anywhere, even in a public, go to Checkers, go anywhere where there's service for people, and try to get services. You will see how you'll be treated. So I say this: be as neat as possible, be presentable, be neat. And also, if you can, my African brothers and sisters, move out of the hood. The hood was never initially our idea. The hood was always a place where white people were pushing us away from the main city. Here in Kimberley, the hood, Khalishiwe, is also known as Ver Genoeg. Ver Genoeg means far as possible, far enough. You understand what I'm saying? So the city lights and whatever is not only reserved for other people. You also deserve that. And I will encourage you, if you can afford the greater things in life, definitely have them. But don't forget where you come from, and don't let those things give you pride. You understand? But I'm not going to sit around and when a person is not, if a person can't take care of themselves as a politician, as a pastor, as a worker, whatever, the respect automatically goes. Understand? But a white person can come, you can see this person is not washed, but because of their skin color, the black people and colonization has worked so much that their fear and respect is automatic. Not to me and you. Me and you are pan-Africanists. We understand this thing. I'm just saying in general that is what is happening. So I'm not going to derive myself from good things. There's a video that says I'm not here to suffer. I'm not here to suffer. Definitely not. So you guys tell me what you say on the comment section. There is another question that was raised to Julius Malema, that the Zimbabwean I want to say the international premier, what do they call them, the prime minister, whatever they call them. She said, no foreigner will make business in Zimbabwe. And the interviewer asked Julius Malema, you say we must welcome people here in South Africa, but they are saying we can't do business that side. Let's quickly listen to how Julius Malema answered that question.
incidentally, the trade minister of Zimbabwe this week said something, which is an irony because I don't know if there's trade in Zimbabwe. That's not the point. Well, there is trading. She said that no foreigner should run businesses in Zimbabwe. I mean, that feels like a slight on you saying, across the road,
so, my bra, because someone is doing something wrong and says something wrong, now must join that so that no, we must be equal. No, I can't. That's what they believe in. And I don't know who will go to Zimbabwe now to go and do business there. Especially the fields that he's talking about. I know Zimbabwe is trading tobacco. There is still gold. There is platinum. Actually, some studies were suggesting that our Zimbabwean platinum and our platinum and that of Zimbabwe combined constitute almost 85% of the world.
It's very possible.
Yeah, so there's still platinum there. So there's some trade going on. Whether they are doing it right or not, I don't know. But that's where the Chinese interests come in. But we're not saying no foreigner must come and trade in South Africa, because Zimbabweans are no foreigners in South Africa. They're Africans. So that's why you are wrong in your joke to say we're all going to be South Africans. We're all going to go back to being Africans. Because that's the problem with you South Africans. You think you are a Europe of Africa, that you are not part of the continent. We need to go back to our continent and identify with it, and it must be borderless. And borderless does not mean criminality. Europeans have a borderless continent called Europe. They trade with ease. You can have a breakfast.
They travel with ease. They go to a football match the same night they back home.
You have breakfast in Milan, in Italy, and then sleep in London with no hassle. So, and then when it comes to us, because the unity of Africans threatens them, they say no.
Well, don't get me wrong. Personally, I'd be very. If you gave all Ethiopian women South African citizens, I'd be the happiest person, right? I think they're harmless people.
Now I searched hard and deep for this particular clip, but I could only get a online report. The Zimbabwean minister was speaking about people from outside Africa. She was not speaking about Africans in particular. But you know how media are. They're going to misquote things to push a certain agenda because they want to see us South Africans fighting Zimbabweans. And I'm sick and tired of this fight of South Africa and Zimbabweans, because I'm telling you, the day we start working together, these two countries, especially Zimbabwe and South Africa, the standard of life will improve in both countries. A lot of businessmen here in South Africa will be making a lot of money in Zimbabwe and vice versa. What I like what Julius Malema said, he said, we are not going to be all Africans, all South Africans if the border open, but we're going to go back to being African. And I think that message has been lost in politics, to say we need to go back to being Africans. Go back to our roots. We have forgotten those roots. People just hate everything about colonization, but not the borders. You hate everything that white people did to you, but you don't hate the borders specifically, because they keep you divided from each other. And I've always said to you guys, there is no way Africa, your little country in Africa, Zimbabwe, is going to be compared to the USA or to China or to India, because of the population. It's just different. China's got 1.4 billion people. You can't compare China with South Africa. It's not possible. You're wondering why are they leading in technology? It's because it's 1.4 billion people. You can imagine how many heads, how many ideas, how much political will they have. Plus they are a communist country. How far they can go with that unity they have as Chinese people. The same with India. 1.4, 1.3 billion people. It's crazy that you would think that you want to compare Nigeria to India. It's an unfair comparison. Nigeria only has a few million people there, or what, 200 and something million people. It's unfair to compare them with India. But if you can compare Africa with India, you can compare Africa with China, because the population numbers, then they are now equal. So the last clip I would like to cover here on that interview is why should you vote for the EFF? And I'm going to say something that is going to stick in your mind forever after Julius Malema has spoken.
So other than coming to listen to Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi singing, why should I vote for the EFF?
If you're unemployed, 90 million jobs are going to be created. You need jobs. And we cannot be a country that prides itself with having a concept called unemployed graduate. It must be an insult. It must be a taboo. No graduate must be unemployed.
In fact, you specifically speak about artisans and engineers and how they gotta create jobs.
Once, Polokwane TVET, its courses must be linked with the industries that are relevant in Polokwane. And some of these kids, as they're still at school, they must be taking practicals in those institutions, and SETA providing money to these companies to pay these kids stipends, to give them both theoretical and practice at the same time. When they leave, already those companies would have chosen 10 of them, 20 of them. You guys, when you are done, you're coming straight here. Doctors, to be a doctor, it takes a lot of time, and not only
7 years.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
You finish.
Cost us about 1.2 million per annum.
Yeah,
to train
you
a
finish,
doctor.
you still have to toy to march for a job. We can never have enough doctors. Not in our country like this. Every doctor, 6 months before they graduate, they should have been linked to a hospital. Immediately, that when you leave here, your job is waiting for you. And then, especially where they were doing those practicals.
Yeah.
Now, listen to me very carefully, Africans. If you have not heard anything I said in this interview, hear what I'm going to say now, because it is very important. You will never ever in your life get this Julius Malema again. Age is going to catch up with Julius Malema. Some of you are saying, let's give Julius Malema a chance after 5 years. Let's give ANC a last chance. Let's give Mkhonto Wesizwe a chance. Let's give the multi-party collusion, charter freedom nonsense, multi-moon rubbish a chance. Let's give Rise Mzansi a chance, or whatever. This Julius Malema that you guys are seeing now is in his peak of his life. He will never be as healthy as he is right now. He will never be as sharp as he is right now. He will never be as radical as he is right now. As time goes and the age goes up, and the older he gets, I'm telling you, you're going to see a more tolerant Julius Malema. I'm telling you, South Africans, if indeed you want change, and you want it truly, and you want to give it to Julius Malema, the time is now. There won't be another time. You understand? And I'm not, you guys know I've got my differences with Julius Malema here and there. I'm not campaigning for the EFF. I'm not a member of the EFF. I'm not a member of any political party. But looking from outside, since, well, we have agreed that the EFF is the best alternative to the ANC. Now is the time to vote for these people. There won't be you don't know what's going to happen after 5 years. You don't know what's going to happen after 5 years. You don't know how it's going to look with the coalition government. You don't know what is going to happen. If you want to place a safe bet and you electing this man, you do it now, South Africans, or history will judge us to say, but you had Julius Malema, why didn't you give him a chance? All of these other people are old and of age. They can't be radical enough. Africa needs young leaders, leaders under the age of 55. That's what, for me, that's young anyway. Because I've got colleagues I'm working with. There's another colleague, a sister I'm working with. She's turning 50 this year. She does not look 50. Or most of my friends are in their mid-40s. They don't look in their mid-40s. They look very young. So for me, if you are under 50, 55 years old, you are still particularly young, especially in politics. You still have some type of energy. But if you skip your peak years, which is from 37 to 47, I don't know, South Africans. I hope someone is getting what I'm trying to say. Your peak years, it's like always postponing to do things in your 20s, and now you're trying to do them in your 30s. Like running, sports, and all of that. It becomes more difficult to start those things when you are older. Some of you want to start YouTube channels, but you keep on postponing, and you think one day the right time will come. It's not gonna come. You want to get into a serious relationship, you want to get into business. You keep on postponing, thinking that the right time will come. The right time will never come, my African brothers and sisters. The right time is always and will always be right now. I'm talking from experience when I'm talking about that. And that also adds to building our school, Paseta. It is about now, not next year, whenever, now. And I'm just waiting for this one document that I must share with you guys. It hasn't arrived. I thought it was going to arrive by now. But very soon I'll get those documents and share the great news about Paseta, the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. So I would like to thank everyone who has subscribed. All the words of encouragement on the comment section. Yeah, from your heart to my heart, thank you so much. And everyone who have subscribed and clicking the like button, supporting the channel in all different ways. Those who want to speak to me about the school, any contribution you want to make, the email is there. Feel free, my African brothers and sisters, to contact your boy King. You understand? We're trying to reach that 20,000 subscribers. We are late. We are 1,500 subscribers behind from our target. So let's push into the next 2 weeks. We get this 20,000 subscribers so that mid-March I can send the t-shirts to 10 lucky winners. I only have 3. Tomorrow night, tonight, which is Friday, that's when you guys will get the video. 9 o'clock will be going live. I'm going to make sure I choose 4 people. For 3 to 4 people to fill in that list of the 3 I already have. If I can have 6, and then the following weeks I will choose. Once we get to 19,000, I choose. Then I send you guys the t-shirt as a sign of gratitude for supporting my channel and always being here. Don't miss the live chats. It's crazy on the live chat. That's the only time you guys get to interact with me, with the comments that you have. I read every comment. I don't make a mistake. So yeah. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. And after you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.
Black Heart, the hustle continua. 100% good quality t-shirts. Made to inspire your goals and dreams. T-shirts are now available at an affordable price. Place your order now. 068-473-6908. Instagram at Black7576. Facebook page Black Heart.